What's going on, everybody? My name is SMITE. Welcome to episode 2 of Less Than 60 for SMITE. Today we're going to go over 3 more gods of the range AD carry category, but first we need to go over the results from the last episode. You guys voted on who you thought was the top god, and it's time to see who won. Just to remind you, the votes are counted in the comment section of the YouTube video, so make sure you do that after this episode. But for now, let's look at the numbers. Apollo had 129 votes, Anhur 178, and Artemis 93. So it was pretty close between Apollo and Anhur, but in the end, obviously we can only have one winner, so Anhur pulls the title and is victorious. Let's see who's going to win this week. I think it's going to be a really close battle because there seems to be a really high demand for these gods. First up, we have Xbalanque, also known as the Hidden Jaguar Sun. His passive is any gods he kills buffs his physical power by 5. He has max stack of 6. His number 1 branching bola is a toggle that boosts his basic attack damage, and on hit can affect anyone 30 feet behind the original target for 30% of the original damage. It is excellent for chasing people down, finishing them off, or harassing early game. For his number 2, Xbalanque fires 10 poison darts in front of him. They do damage on impact in every 0.5 seconds for 3 seconds. It's almost always followed up by his 3, which I'll explain next, but early game, when you only have that upgraded, it's great for poking enemies under the tower and getting a little bit health off each time. Now his 3, Rising Jaguar, makes him dash forward and jump up into the air, firing darts while he does so. And the reason why I say this is great followed by the 2 is that people who were previously poisoned by Xbalanque take additional damage by these darts. You can gank lanes ridiculously fast and get out of tough situations easily. His ult, Darkest of Nights, blinds the enemy for 3 seconds. If they're moving at the end of these 3 seconds, they get stunned for 1.5 seconds. His basic attack range is buffed as well as his movement speed. You're going to want to use this when ganking lanes to catch the enemy off guard and help your entire team pull a couple of kills. Next we have Neith, the Weaver of Fate, and her passive is anywhere an enemy god dies, a 2-minute Warden ability buff is placed. It is a broken weave. Her 1, Spirit Arrow, is an arrow that goes through everything in the world. The first enemy takes initial damage and is rooted, and the next enemy takes 75% damage, is rooted for 75% of the time, and so on and so forth. If you hit a broken weave, it explodes and deals 100% damage to enemies and roots everyone in the area. Her 2 is an AoE attack that damages enemies and slows their attack speed, healing Neith for every hit up to 3. If there are broken weaves on the ground, they are removed, healing her an additional amount, and as you can see, a lot of Neith's abilities depend on her passive, which puts broken weaves on the ground. Her 3, Backflip, creates such a weave immediately as she jumps, and damages and slows enemies in front of her. It's great for getting out of tough situations and making enemies pop their abilities on nothing but air, like the mountain here. Now her ult is actually too much fun. It's a charged arrow that goes through the world, much like her 1, seeks out its target and stuns them on impact. It is without a doubt one of the most efficient finishing moves in the game, and if you hit someone with this while there's a broken weave on the ground, everyone in the area will take the same damage as the original target. Now our last god is Cupid, who we all know as the god of love. Now his passive is that every basic attack he lands buffs the damage and healing of his abilities. It caps at 10 stacks. His 1 is called Heart Bomb, where he shoots a heart at the enemy, and after 3 seconds of sitting above their head and pumping viciously, it explodes and deals damage to them again as well as everyone in the area. As it gets more powerful, it's great for separating teammates because when someone gets hit, they have to retreat and nobody wants to be near them for obvious reasons. His 2 is called Share the Love, and Cupid generously throws 3 hearts in the area, and anyone can pick them up, including him, and they heal, but for any ally who picks up these hearts, Cupid will regenerate mana. These hearts only last for 8 seconds, so make sure your teammates can easily see them. His 3 is called Flutter, and he dashes forward, leaving a trail behind him that will also increase the movement speed of his allies. Shortly after, he also gains attack speed. It lasts for 6 seconds and is great for helping you or your teammates catch up to someone, or like many other dashes, getting out of terrible situations. His 4 is called Field of Love, and it is indeed his ultimate. He rains down arrows from the sky, and anyone in the area will be slowed, and over time the hearts swell, and when they pop, damage will be done, and everyone in the area will be mesmerized. Keep in mind that doing damage to them will break the effect. And that is Cupid, the god of love. And with that, episode 2 is concluded. We have Neith, Xbalanque, and Cupid, and that also concludes our range AD carry. So vote in the comments, who do you think was the top god of this episode? Remember, Anhur won episode 1, so let's see who's good enough to top him. Anyway, check out my channel, guys. You'll get more SMITE gaming content. See you later.